Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Inside the Nation. Happy Family Day. Hopefully you're having a great day with your wonderful family. And maybe today, instead of sneaking into the washroom at work to watch Inside the Nation, you're actually watching with your family. If that is the case, then thank you very much. And hello to the wife and children. This is Inside the Nation, a little bonus episode today. I felt bored because no two guys and a goalie podcast due to the holiday today. So myself and Gager and Cassian will be back on Thursday. Lots to talk about. So I'm hitting Inside the Nation Monday, Wednesday, Friday this week. And let's get into this. Let's get into this right now. Marcel says he's first, and he was. A Family Day miracle for Marcel. That is great. Julian says he was first, but not even close. Not even close. Justin said he was second. Technically, he kind of was. Edmonton Oilers on a roll. On a roll right now. 3 of 4 they have won without Connor McDavid. I says, pardon? That's crazy. Good for them. This is an opportunity here. Like, this thing could have gone one or two ways. They could be 0-4 right now without Connor McDavid, and the sky would be falling, and the season would basically be over. Or they can go 3-1, which they have with the only loss coming to the red-hot Tampa Bay Lightning, who I like to win again tonight if you're gambling. They're 3-1, and all of a sudden you see this season as like a rallying point on so many different levels. Like, for one, Draisaitl solidifying himself as the Hart Trophy favorite at this point, I would think. Has to be. 10 points in his last 4 games without Connor McDavid. Was already leading the league in scoring before McDavid left. I didn't think either one of them would win it if they both stayed healthy the entire season. But with Connor McDavid, even misses 2 to 3 weeks, and Draisaitl pushes this team through and then runs away with the scoring race as well, as it says right on the old lineup today. Hartseidel, that's basically what you're looking at with Leon Draisaitl. He's been absolutely ridiculous. Like, the dude, and it's not even like you watch him and you're like, oh my God, Draisaitl is dominating this game. Because that's not what it's like. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, nice play, Draisaitl. Secondary assist. Oh, nice play, Draisaitl. Went to the side of the net. Puck came right to him, put it in the back of the net. Oh, nice stretch pass by Draisaitl. Nice backhand pass by Draisaitl. And then all of a sudden it's a 2 or 3 point game, and it's crazy. So he's been absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Was excellent again on the weekend as well. I mean, what else are you supposed to say? What else are you supposed to say? Pro Wrestling YAG says, hey, Dusty was trying to find a player with term the Oil could target in the teams out. Well, I'm going to bang out an article probably tomorrow or the next day, taking a look at the rental market, because I don't think the Oilers can be in on the market with term right now. I mean, these guys with term, Coleman, like, basically, if you look at what's happened here, and Bouchard's at a different level than these prospects that have moved so far, and I think Broberg's at a different level than the 2 prospects that have been moved so far. But outside of that, I mean, Tampa Bay gave up a first and the organization's best prospect to get their hands on Blake Coleman, who was my sweetheart target for the Oilers, but not at that price. And then Pittsburgh gave up their top D prospect and a first-round pick to get Jason Zucker. So both those guys had term left, and the price on them were crazy. So personally, I think the Oilers are probably out of the find a forward with term market and are probably back into the rental market, if any market at all. I think. Alex says, repping that Blackout Oil Nation gear at Good Life Calgary Trail. Nothing gets me more hyped than oil talk. Yeah, this isn't Blackout. Oh, you've got the Blackout. Yeah, I've got a little bit of white there. So where do you rate Leon now? I mean, on what level? What are we talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Where do you rate him right now? Chris says, good day from Australia. Put another shrimp on the barbie, mate. No, but seriously. Do you always have shrimp? And are they always done on the barbecue? I've always kind of wondered about that, to be honest with you. We're going to whip through the TSN trade bait board. It's now up to 50. Frank Saravalli at TSN, who joins the Smash Hit Nielsen show on Tuesday mornings. He's not stopping. This thing's at 50, and Jesse Puljujarvi is still hanging on. The last one was 40. Jesse was 40th. This one is 50. Jesse is 50th. So he's still hanging on. Let's see here. Bag Milk says, wouldn't want to see the Oilers give up their first for rental. I'm in full. This is the only way the Oilers part with it. Let's just use JG Pajot as an example. Okay? A couple little tidbits here that I want to get to. Let's use JG Pajot just as an example. I'm not saying that this is going to happen. I'm not saying I have any inside information. I'm not around the team every day so I can pretend that I know everything. Pajot to Edmonton for Jesse Puljujarvi and a conditional second that becomes a first if the Oilers make the conference final or Stanley Cup final. Like, I think that would be the only way. Over 100 viewers today. Family Day miracle. That would be the only way I think that would even be considered. There's no way Ken Holland is giving up a first-round pick unless it guarantees his team is in a Stanley Cup final. Or you're not partnering with another great prospect and you are getting a guy with term. So I just don't see them being in that significant market. Chris with an update on the whole shrimp on a Barbie thing. We call them prawns, not shrimp, and they are great barbecued. Put another prawn on the bobby. It just doesn't, I guess it doesn't sound too bad. It doesn't sound too bad. Curto says trading Puljujarvi for a rental would make 0 sense. Man, unless you're like, this dude's never coming back here and they can get a guy that will play now and impact now. Then, I mean, it kind of makes a little bit of sense, especially if you think that you might still be able to sign him. Ryan asked for my opinion on Benson. Starting to come around a little bit. I'm not going to be the, hey, tell Benson to get a place. I mean, I don't think we're there yet, but I think that assist from a confidence perspective will go a long way, and you'll like to see him settle in a little bit. That was one of the discussions that I've been having with a number of different people. When their one line is healthy, is this how the top 9 looks? Let me just run this by you. McDavid, Cassian, Neal, the Draisaitl, Yamamoto, Nuge line, and then Archibald, Sheahan, Benson. Is that the top 9? Like, is that puck drop, Calgary, April 4th? Is that the top 9 that we're going to see? Or does Benson get sent back down when some of these bodies get healthy? What say you? Hit us up in the comment section. Elijah says, Toffoli for a third and Puljujarvi. Man, we'll see what happens. Don says, Pittsburgh and Tampa, huge overpay from Palm Springs. Ooh, Don, hello, Palm Springs. I heard it's windy when you land at the airport there. I don't know where I heard that, but for some reason I heard that. Pittsburgh and Tampa, this is the spot the Oilers will be in 2 to 3 years if things go right. I know Pittsburgh and Tampa gave up a boatload to get the guys that they got, but both guys will be back next year. The Coleman one in Tampa makes a lot of sense because they can now part with a $4 or $5 million contract of a Tyler Johnson, Yanni Gord, whoever, and like Killorn, and then have Coleman who can slide in at 1.8. So these teams who, like, it looks like there's an arms race shaping up in the East, which isn't that bad for the Oilers over here in the West. As long as Vancouver and Calgary and Vegas aren't adding, you can let everybody over. You let the Tampas and Pittsburghs and Washington and Bostons load up on these guys and beat the crap out of each other in the postseason. And it is looking like a little bit of a bloodbath over there. So once again, I think just be patient. And in a couple of years, that's where the Oilers will be like, okay, moving a first-round pick. We're moving young Ryan McLeod or something to bring in a piece that can slot in, because hopefully by then they have a little bit more cap flexibility with some of the numbers that'll be coming off the numbers. Marcel says, I think Benson sticks and Russell finally settles in the press box full time. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Don says, trust me, if we moved Larson, we'd miss him. You can't move Larson right now. I'm not even sure. I don't think you can move Larson until you're sure Bouchard is a top 4 defenseman. Really? I mean, you cannot possibly move Larson in the offseason and come into next year with Bear, Bouchard, and Benning on your right side. Nothing against those guys, but I just don't think that would be the right way to approach it. All right, Josh Archibald. How about Archibald scoring the overtime winner? Another goal as well, and the nice feed from Benson. Considering the way that Ken Holland is taking care of his to-do list here in season, you have to think that a contract is coming for Josh Archibald if he wants it. The question is, what is that number? Is it 1.2? He's at $1 million right now. Can you say, hey, man, we like what you're doing. Continue to play a role here. We'll give you 1.2, 1.25. When I did my next year's salary cap piece, it was at 1.1, so I'm already bumping it up a little bit. But I think that's a guy that you want to lock into your bottom six in your penalty kill for the next 2 years. I think you've got to look at it for the next 2 years for Archibald. I'd be comfortable. It's not like there's a lot of young forwards knocking on the door down in Bakersfield. I mean, there's Yamamoto. There's Benson, who looks like he's almost ready. And then there's a bunch of other guys who might never become NHLers. McLeod's not going to be your third line center next year. Maybe in a bit. But I think a 2-year deal for Archibald would be pretty good. I think that'd be nice. What other centers are not big names are there, like Ryan Strome? Costs less and does the job. Can you name other third centers? Or would a younger winger work from the KHL? Well, that's not happening right now. I mentioned Ryan Strome. Yes, because the Rangers had some interest in Jesse Puljujarvi. So would you trade Puljujarvi and a second-round pick for Ryan Strome? Strome's 3.1 right now. He's an RFA at the end of the year. He's going to want a little bit of a bump. He can come in, be your third-line center. Well, you'd have like 2 third lines then, because Archibald and Sheahan and let's say Benson are still going to get theirs. And then you go chase on with Strome and so. And then maybe if James Neal's not working, you can put him up. Strome can move up for a little bit. I mean, if you could just go back and erase one thing that Peter Chiarelli did, like along the whole way, and I know he moved Eberle and I know he moved Hall, the Reinhart deal was awful. But let's just dial it back like just a few months and reverse that Strome deal. And this team is sitting pretty darn good right now. There's not the push for a third line center. You've got a guy locked in at 3.1, which is Strome is, and has the versatility to play on the wing, can play on the power play for you. If only they didn't give him away. That's the all-time backfire there, man. That one really stings. Man. I'm at a loss of words. Like I just don't know how Chiarelli could justify that to the rest of his team. That I'm going to trade Strome for a guy that I really liked in Ryan Spooner, who might not even play in the National Hockey League for 6 months. 6 months from now. And Strome wouldn't be putting up the numbers that he's putting up in New York if he was playing third line center here in Edmonton. But the versatility there, just the moment they made that deal, I was like, this is a stupid deal. And now here they are looking for a Ryan Strome, which absolutely makes no sense. With that being said, I don't think you could afford Ryan Strome next year, because what's he going to want? I probably want 4 something. You might actually be able to make that work if the cap gets bumped up $2 million. Like Kajula Manning. If you could just rewind the last couple of moves that Chiarelli made, this team would be in such a better... To me, it's almost like, well, I'm going out. Might as well sewer these guys moving forward. It was bad. Absolutely brutal. But anyway, this team's first in the division right now. I'm just saying it sucks that you're looking for a Ryan Strome type when you had Strome and gave him away for nothing. Jesse Puljujarvi in a second rounder. I feel like that's the big package that Ken Holland might be able to move. I don't know what the return is. I don't know what the value is, but I think that's like as high as he would be willing to go. Jesse Puljujarvi, who, depending on the team that they're dealing with, might still be viewed to have a little bit of first round value. And then a second rounder might put you in the mix for a forward with term. Might not even want to do that for a rental, I wouldn't think. TSN Trade Bait Board, I'm going to quickly whip through every single one of these names, okay? I'm going to go through all 50 of these names and just give you a yes or a no or a maybe so. All right, Chris Kreider, no, not going to happen. Sammy Vatanen, no. JG Pajot, maybe so. Alec Martinez, no. Brendan Dillon, no. Tyler Toffoli, maybe so. Ilya Kovalchuk, I'd say yes. $700K, UFA, it all rhymes. So yeah, I like that. Carolina's first round pick, no. Kyle Palmieri, yes. He's got a year left, 4.65. I don't know how you would make it work, but I think Kyle Palmieri. I wrote about Palmieri in my Dealing with the Devils piece. Coleman's already gone, but there's a few other guys in that target on that list of Devils, and Palmieri be one of them. Athanasiou, yes. Be interested in him. Dylan DeMelo, no. Patty Marleau, probably not. Joe Thornton, probably not. Derek Grant, maybe so. Mike Hoffman, yes, if you could somehow work it out, but he's a UFA. It's going to cost too much. Be a nice little pickup. Barclay Goodrow, yeah, I'd have some time for him. He's got a year left. Chris Tierney, I'd have some time for him. He's an RFA. Eric Gustafson, no. Pavel Buchnevich, yes. That's probably going to be pricey. Detroit's cap space, yes. Dump a contract to the Detroit Red Wings. Alex Kerfoot, I'd be hesitant. Kasperi Kapanen, I've got some time for Kapanen. I don't know what the deal would be. Matt Dumba, would love him on the right side, but that's not going to happen. Jonas Brodin, no need for that one. Wayne Simmons, I've had some people ask me about that. No, not Wayne Simmons. You don't need this team to get slower. That wouldn't make any sense. Josh Anderson, a little bit of time for him. Anthony D'Angelo, I'm wondering if this is a one-off. Probably not at the price they're going to ask. The Ghostus Bear, no. Andre Kasha, a little bit of time for him. He's not having a very good season. Rasmus Ristolainen, I've always liked Ristolainen, but now is not the time. Robin Leonard, no. Ron Hainsey, no. Connor Sheary, somewhat intrigued by Sheary. UFA at the end of the year, can scoot around there a little bit, pint-sized, but at the same time, if James Neal's not clicking with McDavid down the stretch, throw Connor Sheary up with McDavid. He's played with Sidney Crosby in the past. Might be something there. Ryan Donato, I definitely would take a look at Donato. He's 1.9 mil, and he's under contract next year as well. That could be a guy that could possibly play alongside McDavid, coming at the right price. Craig Smith, UFA, he's got 17 goals this year. Too pricey. I don't think they'll be able to get him. Valtteri Filppula, kind of interesting. Third line center, 3 mil, but he has a year left. Filppula as a UFA would intrigue me a little bit. Marco Scandella, no. Mikael Granlund has actually turned it around since the Nashville coaching change, but he's at 5.75 mil, no. Sam Bennett, no. Michael Delzato, no. Nate Thompson as a fourth line center, not worth it. Trevor Lewis, 2 million UFA, not likely. Devin Shore, no. Rocco Grimaldi, UFA, 1 mil, nah. Evgeny Dodonov, there's no way they move him, but he's a UFA. Zach Bogosian, could have got him on waivers. Josh Manson, right shot D. I mean, if you're moving Larson or something, I mean, that would be the type of guy you look for in return. Kyle Turris, 6 mil a year, no. Jeff Petrie, 5.5 mil, don't know how that would work. So there's not a lot of names on that list that you're like, oh, at number 50 on the list, Jesse Puljujarvi, and you know my thoughts on him. Throw him on the line with McDavid and Cassian. All right, so there you go. There you go. I'm not 100% sure if there's anybody on that list that, well, there's a few guys that I mentioned would kind of be interesting, but the UFA rental market for forwards this year is capital W weak. Like it is not good. It's not good. So, I mean, you want to waste assets on lackluster pickups. I'm not sure. Well, I'm pretty sure Ken Holland probably doesn't, but he might want to make one sort of little bump just to kind of be like, hey boys, here you go. All right. McDavid rejoining the team here over the next couple of days. He's not going to play against Boston, but could he play later in the week? I don't know, but it's fun to speculate. And a new sponsor, I mentioned this, starting Wednesday, we're going to have a new sponsor here for Inside the Nation. And from what I've been told, many of you will benefit from this. So that's nice to see. Okay? This is going to be a good one. So we will debut our new sponsor on Wednesday. Around this same time. All right, so that's going to do it for another edition of Inside the Nation. Happy Family Day, everybody. Thanks for joining me here on this Family Day Monday. And, keep checking out OilersNation.com for all the latest articles on the Edmonton Oilers. I'm going to have at least one more pre-deadline day piece that we'll get out. And, we've been cruising at about 120 viewers the entire time. So thank you very much for popping in. Enjoy the rest of your day. Go spend time with family, all right? We'll talk to you tomorrow morning on the radio and then back here on Wednesday, and then Two Guys at a Goalie on Thursday, and back here on Friday. All right. Thank you very much. Dan, if you're watching this later, I love you. Happy Family Day, everybody.